Scarlett McMasters, from Wailanui Ridge, Kahala, Oahu. And since I was 19 years old, I was born on December 27, 1961, a graduate of the Kamehameha Schools, class of 1979. At graduation, I was 5 feet 7.5 inches and a whopping 100 pounds. um, I always ate decadently and abundantly, but was always original weight person. So my weight, and so that's a topic right now. It's been managed right now, lovingly by a friend, a coworker from Wilcox High School, who she was into weight training, body sculpting at Goldstream, Santa Clara, California. And so when you hang out with the right person, and she and I, through our love for special education students, we hang out, work out, and our love for coffee. So my life has been abundant of good mentors, whether it's Micah Ulake, hula master, whom I adored and loved in this life, or my grandfather, Joseph G. Kealoha Sr., born on the same day as his firstborn son, Joseph G. Kealoha Jr., January 24th. Now, Grandpa was the director of HR Federal Aviation Administration, Honolulu, Hawaii. So, in my life, I've been blessed nailing it, the interview, and going out with a job. Percentages for when I receive a job I want, I do go after it and really achieve it and get it. Because Grandpa, since I was a little child, practiced the interview process with me. Well, first he said, "We'll get up at 5 a.m. and then make your bed, and then make Grandpa breakfast and sit down, come here." So my work experience in the Silicon Valley has been a track record of success because of my skills at the interview process, and that's how you really receive a job you want. So whether it was after graduation from San Jose State in 1998 and starting a track record of work in Silicon Valley. So if it was JCP geologists, I started out humbly as a temp, and then they hired me full time. Or InvestSmart of San Jose, I also worked there as administrative assistant and did a fine job of a 2-person tax administration department, my supervisor and I, whom she could count on to give the key on Saturdays, and during tax time the work was completed just by me. And so if I was hired at Northrop Grumman in Sunnyvale, California, it's because of my reputation in InvestSmart. It followed me to there. And so, first of all, when I interviewed at Northrop Grumman in August of 2001, I turned down the first job I was offered. It was at the submarine calibration lab. Why? Because family was more important to me. So I wanted to return home to attend my brother Kale Kealoha's 2001 Punahou School graduation from high school. And then I returned home to Santa Clara, and there was a voicemail. A Northrop Grumman supervisor come in and want to interview for yet another position. So I interviewed for the position for an administrative assistant in the planning engineering department of 25 planning engineers, and most of them are mechanical engineers or electrical engineers, and they are the designers and builders of the Virginia-class nuclear submarine, which takes 7 years of production to complete. And it cost $5 billion. So that was defense contract work. I also worked at McDonnell Douglas of San Jose, California. And recently I worked at Cupertino Union School District as a special ed teacher on record. And so, just as an intern though, and I had to negotiate full-time position at Cupertino Middle School. Full-time. 30 IEPs perhaps, and full-time graduate school to keep that job in San Jose State. So I'm a work-a-day person. So if I get up early, it's because I'm accustomed to working and going to graduate school. But it offends the people in my home that I live with today. But they're ignorant. My mother's only a high school graduate. That's about it. I wanted to portray her as a Sophia Loren. She looks so gorgeous on her wedding day. But in my life, she's been a Kathy Bates, commanding misery to me. So I've returned home because, to full circle, I had to endure many afflictions because at Santa Clara, my life, Richard Lau McMasters, victimizer and abuser to me, collaborator with my mother Molly Keloha, my sister Lisa Keloha Tabo. And the victim in this circumstance is not me, but my 5-year-old, breathtaking, beautiful Maltese mix Isabel Kahala. She longs to be with me here in Hawaii, but the quarantine laws are, and she's so delicate that, and I don't have the resources or her documentation order to bring her home to me, and it's so heartbreaking right now. It's almost, that's all I would want for Christmas is a reunion with my dog Isabel. But that's not what's happening presently. So if I interceded to a king of Saudi Arabia, I've been doing that since 1990, and it was a written letter to His Majesty King Fahd then. And then last year, it was to His Majesty King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia on his Facebook. And right now, it's His Majesty King Salman Abdulaziz Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, which the efficacy of it is easy breezy and pleasant for me. My father-in-law, Ralph William McMasters, was a plant manager for them in Aramco in the 1950s and 1960s, and he often glowed about his work experience in Saudi Arabia. And his family, comprised of his wife, Victoria Martinez, born in Barcelona, Spain, lived in Saudi Arabia while father-in-law worked there. But his experience was extensive, for he started his work at Alaska Oil Pipeline, and then Venezuela oil fields, and then Saudi Arabia. I've never been so victimized and so abused by the command of my mother, but when I met Ralph and Victoria McMasters, they glowed. They viewed me as the daughter they always wished they had, and I entered their life with joy. But I guess the part that I never wanted to be a realtor is my mother's greed factor in the mix. So it drove her madness. Money, greed. Wala Ridge, Kahalo Wahoo, Scarlett McMasters.